two. Hello, everybody. Just bear with us for 1 second while it gets sorted out. um, oh. Hello. Chris up here. There you are. Hi.
Hi.
Can you hear
Hi.
me?
Yeah, perfectly clear. Can you see the
Amazing.
top of my
You
head?
can see. I can see totally.
I'm just
I'm
going to
like,
lay back like this. I'm going to luxuriate. How exciting is this?
this is so exciting. I have been
Yes.
dying for this for the longest time. It's so
Same.
lovely to meet you.
It's cold here.
Is it?
Yeah.
Sydney as well. As hopefully you guys haven't had the rain like we have.
No, not today. Thank you.
Oh, good. Thank
Rainbow colours and no rain.
Oh, talk about being back in Melbourne and again in about a month's time.
Yeah.
Look, we'll get cracking right into it. Welcome everybody to the very first broadcast on Instagram Live of Unfrizzen Unfiltered, where I, Amadou, the founder of Wuli Grooming, gets to speak with all the curly gurus out there in the world and get their insights that hopefully can help share with you information that gets your curly hair journey right on track. At Wuli, I'm all about really helping people fall in love with their curls all over again. And there's only so much information that I know very well, so that I want to be able to share that the information with you from all the other people around, like today's amazing guest and very first timer, Mr. D from Delilah,
Woohoo!
Melbourne. Now, for those of you who don't know, Mr. D is, frankly, in my book, one of the most amazing hairstylists in
Oh,
this. The
thank
man knows
you.
no one's business, and he is one of the most wonderful, beautiful human beings you can ever get to meet. And so I thought, what better way to be able to share his wisdom with you all than through this incredible broadcast? And hopefully you all get to learn a thing or two today. And also, if you stick around, you get to know at the end of the broadcast a chance to win a styling session with Mr. D's team in Melbourne. And I'll tell you all about that later on. But first, Mr. D, so tell us about
Uh,
Delilah. How long have you been? Where in Melbourne are you guys? Why are you the go-to people for curls?
right. So we have next week we're open. We've been open for 17 years, which is so weird. Next, yeah,
Wow.
next something, next whatever day it is. But we're going out to celebrate. We're going to go and have pizza and beers, which is going to be really great. We've been there for 17 years down the butt end of Lygon Street. Everyone knows the famous Lygon Street in Melbourne. We are down at the arse end, like down near Coburg, which I love. And I was just saying to my partner yesterday,
Yeah.
I love being in that real sort of residential, normal part of Brunswick East, which is
Yeah.
Ace. And we have just always been a lover of natural texture,
Yeah.
natural movement, and curl. And I think we've just really worked hard to perfect what we do, and that is the celebration of frizz. So
Yeah.
yeah, what separates us from I think a lot of others is we do celebrate natural texture in its entirety, which is frizz and all. We don't want to change a frizz. We want to give you a haircut that's going to rock that frizz and that natural movement. Yeah.
How you said that, because as you know, so many hairstylists and salons out there in the world today are still very much stuck in this view that if you've got curly hair, the only things that are worth doing to it is chopping it off or keeping it or straightening it up. And you're just thinking, but hang on a
Or
minute.
lock and loading it
Yeah,
with lots of product.
right.
Yeah.
Right, that's right. When reality of it is, it's a natural hair texture which should be celebrated on its own. It just needs the right touch, effectively.
Yeah.
So there's so you guys are championing that.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. We're enjoying every minute of it.
Um,
We are enjoying every minute of it, I tell you.
And tell me then, with the enjoyment of it, what's the gamut of services that you guys run at the salon? Aside from the general cutting, I'm sure you have a lot more various services that you provide to customers.
Yeah, well, I mean, other than sort of cutting, we we do a little bit of color as well. So, but we mainly focus on our cutting. And the busier we get with our curly cuts and dry cuts, the more we sort of like push other services to the side. So I would say we are a cut heavy salon. We are like 95% haircuts, and we do some color and we do some other things as well, but not much else. We are cutters. We are on the floor and there is hair everywhere. It's coming off. It's great.
I know all about dry cutting. I mean, perhaps that's a personal thing. It's something
Yeah.
that is how hair since I was a child. It's how my parents cut my hair. It's how the barbers and the salons that I've visited since I was a child have cut my hair. And I know when it comes to especially my type of tight coily curls, it is the only way to cut it properly so you know that you're cutting in the right locations and you're getting the right
Yeah.
dimensions of the face. But
I love your hair.
Thank you. Thank you. I would love to hear from you. Why the dry cutting is something that is, so important, and what can you share a bit of why the technique is so important to effectively cutting and styling curly hair?
I feel like dry cutting is the thread that ties everything together. I think, Instagram has made me a curl specialist, but I think it's so much more than that. I feel dry cutting is the cutting of natural texture, which can be from straight to wavy to coily to kinky to afro to everything. So I feel like dry cutting is that little thread where you can cut natural texture, because even straight hair is natural texture. I think I've lost your question by going on my tangent, but I'll keep going. Yeah, I feel like dry cutting is the thing that just you can cut everybody's hair. It's the thing that brings everyone together. Yeah.
No, I totally understand that. The thing is recently I've been doing a lot more markets, and I get to talk to a lot of women, especially who have curly hair, and I ask them a lot of the time, have you ever had a dry haircut? And they say to me, no, I don't even know what that is. And I'm almost sit there almost aghast. I'm thinking, who's cutting your hair? Find out a lot of the time. And these are, by the way, women who generally have, I would say, a type 2B to a 3B style of curl, more like a ringlety, wavy curl. That's probably on the finest. They're generally all getting it cut wet. So then I ask them, why are they cutting it wet? Is it actually even? A lot of the time they tell me, no, it's actually even. There's actually a little bit of misalignment with the cut, and so I don't have to wait for it to grow back, or I have to find a new hairdresser. And I'm like, this is not acceptable. You shouldn't be having to put up with this. And then I start talking to them about the values of dry cutting and how they should see a dry cutting specialist. And I've said a few who finally have done it, and just like, it's changed.
Yeah. Yes. It's so true. I think by celebrating someone's natural movement, I think you really celebrate them. I think going back to you saying, you speak to a lot of women, and so do I. I feel like women and gays, we run a very parallel universe. Let's say that. We are not the same, but we run along the same road. And I think in our societies, it's all about, we have to change ourselves to be good. We have to be thin or muscular or have perfect hair or a blow dry or this or that. And I feel like dry cutting's that way of saying, actually, what you've got going on naturally is pretty bloody perfect. So how about we give you something that's just going to celebrate what's already there, as opposed to you having to get all these tools and products and all of that out. Not that I'm anti-product, obviously.
No.
You've got a killer line, and so do I, which we'll talk about later, I'm sure. But the motivations are very different.
Yeah, look, I would say first, full disclosure to everybody, Mr. D also has his line of wonderful hair care products. It's called Delilah owns some products, especially a beautiful curl balm that I've used myself and absolutely love.
Oh, you
and
used
so
it?
I have. Oh yeah, I have. I need to kind of mix it around, because there'll be days where, for example, where I want a little bit more of a structured hold to my curl, which I know it sounds crazy, it has quite a bit of hold already, but I will use yours. And then if I want to do something that just keeps it nice and soft, because I'm probably just running around all over the place, I'll use my cream. But it complements perfectly. Awesome. And that's the point. Product is should be designed to complement and to help make the maintenance of your curls so effortless.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
So actually,
Totally.
you kind of answered the next question that I had, which is going to be about why you think more people are starting to embrace their natural hair, and in the sense that people are just embracing it because it's what they have. They want to keep a more well-balanced and healthy, easygoing lifestyle,
Yeah.
and not having to rely on heavy amounts of product and heavy amounts of alterations in managing their hair.
Hmm. People are sick to death of having to change themselves to fit in. They are sick to death of it. And
Yeah.
also they don't have the time. So it's a double whammy, isn't it? People are over having to try and become something else, but
The,
then they also don't have the time to do that. So I
no,
feel like it's the
the amount of women I have
perfect thing.
markets who have told me how they're sick to death of doing things like the traditional curly girl method, sitting there in their bathroom and doing like 6 to 8 step routines before they get out
Yeah,
of that. Like, who has time for that between juggling work and kids? Is
not me. Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm certainly not going to be doing that method on my beard. That ain't gonna happen.
Totally. Considering how looking into like curl, curl maintenance, and we're talking about the whole process of being effortless, do you believe maintaining curls can be easy? Which I think you kind of will agree with me, it can be. And if so,
Yeah.
why do you think there is so much confusion and frustration out there about curl care?
Well, I think for anything, there is someone to market to you about that thing. I think we have made curly hair very difficult.
Yeah.
I don't think it has to be. I think if you have good care, good shampoo and conditioner, maybe a bit of a styling product or something that's going to just, help your hair along. I feel like that's all you need. But I definitely know in my 30 years hairdressing experience that wherever there's something that if there's something that people are insecure about, there's going to be someone running after you with the FPOS machine. I really believe that. And I think it's people like you and I, hopefully, that are saying, well, actually, no, you don't really need that much to have fabulous hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting, kind of talking to hearing you say that there's some. This is going to be a little bit technical for some people, but I think it'll make a lot of sense. I run into a lot of women as I promote Wuli who have a lot of low porosity hair. And I can tell it's low porosity as soon as I apply water into the hair. There's beadlets on the hair strand.
Yeah.
It's taking a little bit longer to kind of get moisturized. And then I start asking those women, what have you been using for your hair care products? And a lot of them, they'll say, oh, I use a general shampoo conditioner, but then I also use a mask. I might also include a serum.
Yeah.
Then I'll use like cream and gel, and then I might add a little bit of body and volume if the hair is fine and thinning out. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, do you actually like your hair? And it's like, it's okay. I'm like, but that's probably adding too much product on
Yeah.
that hair.
Yeah.
It needs to be stripped back down. Like, I don't know who told you you needed 8 to 10 products to get your hair on point when you really should only be using 1 to 3 maximum.
And there's the what do you call it? The monkey bar test. If you can hang upside down and your hair still stays in a bob, they're the wrong products. Like, it's like you can't, like, stiff hair. No. It's a big no for me.
Oh,
It's, when people come in to have a haircut, I'm like, you've got to come in with no product in your hair. Because some people do, if all they know is that curly girl method, they come in with that real Medusa sort of, you could sort of swing off it. Not
exactly.
great.
The curly girl method, I always like to tell people, it has its place and purpose
Does
in some areas.
it?
But generally, I
Why is
find
that?
that in itself was designed for an era, like i.e. back in the late 90s, when most hairstyling products were very toxic, very potent, didn't really work well by using just one product. So you had to kind of use a bunch of different products to counterbalance
Yeah.
bad things from putting into your hair. But science has evolved. Like, we don't need to be applying so many different products to get that right look at the. And it really should just be 1 to 2 solid products that are well formulated. And this is also why I advocate so much for ingredient knowledge. People being able to not understand every single ingredient in the formulation of a product, but being able to read a label and understand the key things as to what is making that product what it is, and whether it is for them. Like I'll say very quickly, I get a lot of women, especially when they see sea salt spray part of the line, say to me, "Oh, sea salt's going to dry my hair out, isn't it?" I was like, "No, no, 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 no. Sea salt spray is not going to dry your hair out. What's going to dry your hair out is have isopropyl alcohol, which is rubbing alcohol effectively in a formulation. And there's so many of these cheap brands out there that have this.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
And it's about $5 for 20 liters. I think that's why a lot of chemists like it. We use Japanese vodka in ours. That's $70 for 500 ml. So there you go. I overspend on the ingredients. I can tell you that now.
Oh my
It's
God.
true. It's true.
So,
Yeah.
Mr. Tell me, for your opinion, what are some essential tools every curly person should have in their toolkit? And of course, feel totally free to highlight Delilah's line. I would love to see how this is going, how you guys have been coming along. And
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I feel like all you need, my philosophy, which is behind my creams and sprays, is if you give the hair what it needs, it will behave in the way that you want it to. So there's colouring your hair, there's, you know, heat styling, there's, you know, just the sun and the wind and the elements that damage the hair. If you just give the hair what it needs internally, it will behave. So you don't need all of these cosmetic ingredients. Some are great, but you just need to give the hair what it needs and get it to hold moisture properly, and there's ways to do that. And then anything added extra in the styling product is going to just help with a little bit of salt, like a little bit of beach, a little bit of mess. So yeah, my philosophy would be balance, and then the hair will behave. And that can be done with good shampoo, a good cream, a good hydration spray. Simple, simple, simple.
Simple.
Yeah, keep it simple, stupid. That's what they say.
Simple. I think you and I were very much on the same page in that when it comes to curls, the number one thing that needs to be first taken under control is solid hydration and moisture. Once you've got hydration, moisture,
biggie,
lasting all day long, the rest of the styling process becomes a whole less. And so people then also, I also find it quite shocking when you see people pushing things like repair products like the K18s all the time on natural curly hair. If it's been totally get it. But when it's in a natural state, you're basically just overloading it with protein and other actives that you don't really need.
Totally. Yeah. Credit where credit's due, I say.
100%.
If it needs it, give it to it. But if it doesn't, don't. Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Every product has its, as long as so you just need to know what state your hair is in order to accept it at that time.
Absolutely. And that can be done very easily. If your hair's greasy, you're using too much. It goes back to really it's putting power back into the consumer's hands and saying, if there's something wrong, there's something wrong. I'm not going to try and convince you that it's not. If you've got, you know, if your hair's too oily, the product's not right. If it's, you know, it can be really simple. It can be really, really simple. And I personally believe, as a hairdresser, it does go back to the haircut.
Yeah.
You cannot style out a shit haircut. If the haircut's good and it's well supported and it's designed for you and it's designed to bring you forward, that hair will behave every day of its life. And when it stops behaving, time for another haircut. That's what I say. Yeah.
You know, one of your your confidants and also an amazing curl stylist I champion here in Sydney, Tara Walker, who
Mousy Brown. I refuse to call her Tara. She's Mousy to me because she's a. And I'll tell you the story every time we do a show together, because Mousy and I do lots of shows together. Yeah. I always come out and say we're the Minogues and we're Kylie and Danny, and I'm happy to be Danny. I'm like she's my more famous sister. Yeah. And I adore Mousy Brown. I could talk to you about Mousy Brown for hours.
I know. And I could talk to you.
Inspiration.
Tara is just, she's changed the game, especially in Sydney. The work that she's done is really, I've seen it. Like, it has forced a lot of up their game, especially when it comes to curl care.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, she's amazing.
Yeah. Well, actually, that leads me on to my next question, which is is there any advice you would give to someone with curls to ensure they have the best experience possible at a salon? Going to a salon, super intimidating, as you know. A lot of the time you go there, you say something to the hairdresser that you want this certain type of look, this certain type of cut, and all of a sudden the hairdresser's like, no, I'll do my own thing. And then it's like, what do you say? And a lot of women and run. So it's like, what kind of advice would you give to people to feel more empowered? Yeah.
Do the research, follow the rules.
Yeah.
Right? There's two things. Do your research. Don't just Google curly hair specialist or follow the hashtag, because there are a lot of people that, and especially nowadays, that use the curl specialist hashtag, and they're really maybe still on their journey of becoming a curl specialist.
Yeah.
But when you find someone that you like their work and that work suits your own ethos, don't come to me if you want something really neat and over-styled. And I'm very transparent about that on my website and on Instagram, definitely on Instagram. So yeah, do your research, find the right person, but then when they send you a set of rules, as in this is how you should arrive to your haircut, make sure you follow them. So find the right person, follow their rules, and I think you'll be in the right hands. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much.
Because there's a lot of different kinds of curl specialists out there. Sorry to cut you off.
No.
I've got my headphones in and there's a bit of an echo, so I'm like, I feel like I'm underwater. But yeah, if you can't sort of expect one type of curl specialist to give you the results of another. It doesn't really work that way.
Yeah. Everybody's an artist, and every artist has their own aesthetic and their own approach.
Yeah, totally.
Make sure that it's like buying, I mean, it sounds a bit crazy, but it's probably a bit like buying a painting. You've got to do understanding, okay, is this a piece of art that I'm going to be able to look at every day and admire and appreciate?
Absolutely.
And if it is for you, and if it's not resonating with you, it's not going to happen. Also, more importantly, is the hospitality resonating with you? Do you feel comfortable as soon as you walk into that and you feel welcome? It has to be that, or else it's not going to work.
And on the art conversation, you're not going to go to an abstract artist and say, paint me a portrait.
Yeah.
You're going to find an abstract artist to do that sort of thing for you. So you've got to find the right person for yourself. Yeah.
Absolutely. So then this kind of gets me on to my last two bits of questions. So
is it coming to an end already? It can't. You're going to have to come up with some more questions.
Fine. We can talk about
We'll just get on the blower afterwards and have a good chat.
We're going to have to do a round two. We're just going to have to do a round two and talk to people and start answering questions. So actually, for everybody I'll say it right now. If you would like us to jump back onto this broadcast in a future day, we are more than happy to do it. Send any and all of your questions our way, and we will happily dispel any myths and any curious questions you have right here.
Yeah, definitely.
So then the next point I have is we're talking about the giveaway. So everybody who's watching, because it was National Curly Hair Day last Thursday, we decided at Wuli to celebrate it for the entire month of May. And the celebration is really to honor everybody to embrace your wonderful curly hair. And so how we're doing that is running a giveaway competition where all you have to do is not buy anything from us. We're not asking you to do that. We want you to just spread the word about Wuli to your audience of loved ones. And anytime they buy something, you will then get an entry ticket into winning one of 3 fabulous prizes. So if you're based in Melbourne, you're going to win a maintenance and styling session at Delilah Studio with Mr. D.
Woohoo!
You're absolutely going to love that. If you're in Sydney, you're going to win it with the salon here called Curls Natural Hair and Beauty, which will actually have their stylist on this program next week. And then if you're over anywhere else in Australia, because we're not forgetting about everybody else in the regions and other states, we will win a virtual consultation as well from one of the stylists to be able to get understanding of what's really happening in your curl journey, and also being able to share what products you're using and what issues you may be having and what to look out for.
Wow.
So with that in mind, I'd love to hear from Mr. D. What could people expect when they come and visit your salon, both the winner and people in general?
They can expect disco balls, good music, a fun, relaxed atmosphere, good coffee, maybe a little cocktail. Oh, you want to talk about the hair? Okay. Oh, you just got a bloody good haircut, I would say, and a good time. You always have a good time at Delilah, from when you walk in to being in the space. We're set up so everyone can communicate. I don't know if you sort of, yeah, you've been to the place.
Yes,
All the
fabulous.
mirrors are lined up in the middle, and you can see through them. So we've set it up so everyone can join in on a good chat, a good group chat. So it's very, very communal, very relaxed. Yeah.
So I guess I know we're about to go into the finishing of it, but there's one very burning question I'd love to ask of
Oh,
you, and it has porosity.
here we
Because
go.
porosity is something a lot of people with curls do not really have an understanding of. And so the way I kind of explain people with how porosity works is it's just about how tightly bound is the follicle of your hair. If
Yeah.
if the hair is tightly sealed, that's low porosity hair. You'll know it's low porosity by either seeing beadlets of water on your hair or when the water is sitting on the top of a glass.
Mm-hmm.
And that usually means product is going to be harder to penetrate into your hair when it's low porosity. Mid
Yeah.
porosity, my view was that it's kind of like the Goldilocks of hair types, because it's just open enough to absorb some moisture in, but not enough to really get sunk into. So like if it's in a
Yeah.
glass of water, it'll probably sit right underneath the surface or in the middle of the water. Whereas high porosity hair, which is my hair type, is something that is much open. You basically put it in water, it dunks right in. So it's the kind of hair that loves moisture. It soaks it all in, but as soon as it's out of it, it just strips away and gets really brittle and nappy and knotty. And it's important also, people, I feel, to understand that your porosity is not dependent on your ethnicity. Like, I've known people who are African
So
descendants who
true.
have low porosity hair, I have people who are Middle Eastern, sometimes
Mm.
even high porosity hair. It's just a matter of genetics.
I've got no
But the
porosity hair.
we need to start working on that hair growth serum.
No, I mean, I do actually grow hair. I better say that. I
Uh,
just choose to shave it.
uh,
I just
so,
don't like having hair anymore.
so my question to you was really about, is
Yeah.
there any particular, from based on your experience, seeing people embracing their curl journey and trying to learn about porosity, what is some tips and tricks that you would kind of share on just being able to understand, once you understand where you are sitting in that porosity level, how you go about to finding the right products and looking after your curls?
That's a really great, juicy question, and I love it. Because the way I feel about porosity is the word balance comes to mind. I
Yes.
feel like if you've got hair that doesn't drink a lot of water, but it's a coarse texture and that coarseness is working for you, I would say don't try and overcompensate,
Yeah.
because you will lose your volume, you will lose your texture, you'll lose that thing that makes your hair that fabulous sort of frantic, frantic volume and frantic mess.
Yeah.
But then I would say if your hair doesn't drink water and it's quite limp and fine, it might need a big dose of a protein, which is going to help keep hydration, internally. It's going to help lock the hydration in. A lot of people, what they don't understand about hydration is it just comes straight back out
Yeah.
again. But if you put a wheat protein or a quinoa protein or a rice protein in with it, it'll help to hold the hydration in and bring your curl up. So getting back to your point, because I always run off, is about balance. Make sure you know what's working for you, because sometimes a little bit of damage on the right hair works for the texture and sometimes it doesn't. So find whatever works for what you want to project with your hair. If you want frantic hair, don't overhydrate
Mm,
it. Yeah,
solid advice.
yeah.
Well, that's everything from my side.
No
Thank
way.
you so
Has
much.
anyone got questions for us? Come
Oh,
on,
well, no one's really
crikey!
like questions yet. I mean, I feel like we could honestly,
What
we'll talk
is
about this.
wrong with you? Give us a question. Come on, Jess.
Come on, guys. Give us
Come
one
on,
good question at
PB.
all of you.
I'm just rattling off names that I can see down the bottom. I don't really know who you are.
Jess, I see you on this call, Jess Dindio, who's on this is an amazing Afro Curls texture
Hey,
specialist.
Jess.
She's Melbourne.
I'll
She's
get
got
to
a
meet
salon.
you one day then.
Yes. Come on, share us the question you may have. Well, we'll try to.
Anyway,
Anyway.
whatever. I don't know how to style my hair. Well, follow us both on Instagram and you will soon learn, I tell you that.
There you
Yeah.
go. There
Yeah.
you go.
Keep on the gram. Follow the hashtag.
Yeah.
Follow Wuli. Follow Mr. D. You'll learn.
So
You'll
like
get
I said,
there.
anybody who, you're more than welcome to please share any questions you may have right now. But if you don't feel comfortable, please just know we will have another session. I will promote that. And you'll be welcome to just send in any of your questions anonymously or publicly, and we'll be able to help answer happen later on this month.
That was so much fun. Thank you so much for chatting to me.
Thank you so much for sharing
So
this.
good.
It's knowledge is power at the
Yeah.
end of the day. And there's no gatekeeping, there's no reason to not be able to share our journeys together as entrepreneurs, as you as an amazing expert hairstylist. And oh, somebody just said, hey, you two crazy, gorgeous.
Hey, Randy. I love Randy. Crazy and gorgeous. Thank you. I love you. I've worked with Randy before. They're awesome.
She mentioned, and I know Randy very well. I think I'm going to have her at some point on this Tom podcast as well.
Yes.
But
that was awesome. I'm glad we ended on a fabulous, a no question from Randy.
Well, but Mr. D, thank you so much
Anytime.
for joining the broadcast. Thank you, everybody out there, for tuning in and really helping me pop my cherry on this broadcast program, honestly. And again, learn more. Follow both of us, Delilah Hair Studio, Wuli Grooming. Get to know about our brands, what we're doing differently in the hair care space, and support your local small businesses. We are all out here to make a difference into the Australian economy and doing what we know right by our consumers. So we love you all, and we want to still keep servicing you where we can.
And I love you, Mr. Wuli.
Oh.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much.
I can't do it.
Onto Instagram after, hopefully, if they let me send this half-hour clip. Bye.